How many times have you ever heard the expression, let's save for a rainy day? Well, in reality, I'm looking out the window here in the city and it is raining as I record this audio. How you doing today? This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money More with Jan channel. I'm going to talk today about frugal living always includes one of these. Well, let's be consistent about the rainy day. Let's talk about rainy day savings. Do you have any rainy day savings? Today we're going to talk about budget buffer. What is a budget buffer? Well, to put it simply, it is a cushion. It is not a terribly large amount of money, and it is intended for small expenses or even mistakes made. Like, let's say you underestimated a bill. And a great place to keep it is in your checking account, for example. Having a budget buffer is peace of mind. It's just a great thing. The other day, we were talking about automated bill payments. And let me tell you something. Steve and I cannot emphasize enough the importance of making darn sure you have not just enough to cover your bills, but then some. So basically, the budget buffer is the then some. But Jan, I don't have any money to begin a budget buffer. Well, we could start small. I get it. Everybody needs a beginning. Everybody needs a place to start, okay? And everybody starts at zero. So don't feel badly. So if you're starting really, really small, work with what you can work with. I would strongly suggest if you could put away, and I'm sure you could find a gazillion ways to save just $25 a week. So let's say that this calendar month would have 4 weeks in it. I'm just using this as an example. No matter when you're listening to this broadcast, some months have 5 calendar weeks to it. But let's say that you have 4 calendar weeks. On average, you would be saving approximately $100 a month. And if you could save that little bit of money, $25 a week, and work your way up to a couple of $100, whatever your situation is, 200, 300, perhaps you want 500 in your checking account acting as a budget buffer. There are a lot of people, like I said, they have the automated savings, but they are not reading their invoices. Sometimes bills increase out of nowhere. It is really important to keep on top of the information that is sent to you, whether it's sent to you on paper, which is why to this day, even though it's old fashioned, I prefer my bills still sent to me in hard copy. Sure, I could look it up online. Absolutely. But sometimes we forget to do those things. Whereas if you collect your mail and all of a sudden you see a real physical bill and invoice in front of you, somehow this makes things more realistic because, well, in reality, it actually is realistic. What are some ways that we could do to save that $25 a week? Well, like anything else, and anytime we have a financial goal or a savings goal, we have to be curious to find ways. We could cut out things or we can increase our income, whatever your preference is. Many times people prefer to just decrease whatever they're doing. And a lot of times we refer to the coffee story, as I call it. Well, why? Because it works. It's just an example of ways to trim the fat. We do so many silly things sometimes, like those extra bags of chips. Do we really need those extra bags of chips? Add up all the snacking, all the fast fooding, all the sodas, wasteful stuff that really and literally aren't even really good for our health anyway. If we could just trim the fat off of those things, we're making ourselves feel a little better. And not only that, we're taking that easy to save $25 a week. If you find that goal, you have a reason. You want to create a budget buffer to put into your checking account in the event that a mistake is made or an unexpected small emergency comes up that would, let's say, be $500 or less. This is not to be confused with the quote and the quote emergency fund that I talk about a lot, and we could get into more in depth about that in the future show. This is the budget buffer. I look at it and compare it to those little pillows around a crib for a child, for a baby. That is their buffer around the pillows are the buffer for safety to not hit the wooden bars or whatever they're made of these days. So those pillows keep your baby protected. In this case, you're keeping your checking account protected. You want to avoid any of those crazy late fees and all that, stuff that you don't want to happen. So save $25 a week. Find simple and easy ways. Make that a name it and claim it fund. Starting today, say, you know what? I want to increase my budget buffer, or I want to begin my budget buffer. When? Right now.